All right, folks, let's see if one person on this third beer can tell you in 5 minutes two things he knows about guitar strings. All right, the first thing he knows is Peavey ain't worth a shit. Them things are butt cheese. They're grimy, they're sticky, they're, I don't know what they use to make them out of, but they feel like it's filing fingernails off things. I don't know what they do, but sometimes for a trashy metal, fucking, sex perv rock group, maybe that's the sound you want. But hey, I buy all different kind of strings. But when it comes down to telling somebody what are the best fucking what strings should you put, if you don't, you're asking me what strings you should put on your guitar. There's one string I'm gonna tell you to put on every single time without exception, and that's the Darios. Why? Is because the Dario is the most precision. It's the most. Not only is the string made in a way which it is physically sound. Okay, the materials are always excellent. Consistency is the name of the game here. When you're stringing your guitar up, you want to string it consistently every time. Okay, same way. You need to get methodical about that shit, because that's the only way you're going to know when something's wrong with your guitar, because it always happens after you restring your guitar. Okay, that's where all the problems are. So you got to tighten up the shit on the restring techniques. I use 2 over, 2 under. Okay, learned it a long time ago. Pinches a string. I don't even use clippers no more. All right, bite them things off. Smooth ends. You don't even want no split shafts no more. Anyway, let me tell you why. Okay, when you take a guitar string and it's mechanically sound and it's built correctly, okay, the wraps, the number of wraps per inch, if it's wrapped tighter, okay, with consistent material. But the main thing here is it's consistently wrapped tight down the string, and the cores and the high unwound strings are consistently dyed and extruded, pulled through. Then, okay, you're going to have a string that's consistent per inch from one end to the other. That right there is crucial to two things. One of those things is string stretch when you first tune it up. You can fuck up a set of strings, any strings, by not putting them on right, because you cause string stretch to come into it, and you overly stretch and prematurely give up the intonation of the string. Okay? But when it's tight from one end to the other, it's harder to do that. And when you string it up correctly and don't get too much wrap around the head, 4 wraps, okay, it's up on the high E. High E is one over, 2 under. The A, get the half bar, get on around your E string, your 2 over, 3 on the bottom. But the pinch method, that's what I use. And any more, and you will cause excess string stretch, and it'll take longer to tune up. And that's why I really fucking hate them strings, outside of the fact that you got an insane fucking string posse coming out of the pack of the Darios. Every time you open it up, you just need that one string out of it because you're in the fucking middle of the show. And then the thing stabs out 2 of your eyeballs, goes through one of your ears, you're deaf, and you fucking got to fucking do the Freebird solo without any eyeballs or ears. And then you just fucked, Listen, I still have nightmares about that shit. Look at my damn hands. You don't need any more injuries when when you do a lot of guitars. And see, I've done all the strings consistently. Okay, 100 guitars a month sometimes. I've done 1,000 guitars in the last 10 years. And not putting my choice of strings on there, putting the choice dealer, the customer's choice strings on there. So I had to use every one of them. And I had to listen to all this, just like the way the ernie balls sound on my guitar. No, what you like is the fact that ernie balls got individually packaged strings, the Dario. Okay? See, when you don't have much stretch, not only can you change strings 5 minutes before the show, and by the first song go up, you play in front to back, you ain't out of tune. At the second, in the 30-second interval you got, or less than that, you're gonna take and maybe bump up on your E, on your low E. But by the end of the second, third song, you're pure for the rest of the night. That's right before the show. The reason you can do that is because it's tight, it's wrapped tight. It doesn't give any room to stretch. The second thing about guitar strings that kill them and make them sound dead when you think they're played out, outside of molesting undersides and cutting them out, is dirt. Yes, just that butt cheese, your fucking nachos and peanuts, you Martin guys out there that like the Martin strings, that's all I use, but that's okay. Just use them every time. Know how to string them up and put them on there right. Don't burn that stuff at the top, okay? And don't do them big old mixed mouse ears. It just makes you look just face it. little faggoty, you know. And I ain't even talking about gay. We're talking about the worst kind where you kind of appear gay, but you're actually heterosexual. That's faggoty. Nobody likes them. Anyway, listen. Got to listen if nothing else. When them strings open, when you have to stretch on the string, you're taking, you know, it's like fucking putting a block of meth through your fucking heart every pull on it. Because what it's doing is it's stretching that string out, which is opening up the spacings in the wraps. It's going to trap more dirt. That's what wipes your frets off, man. And people say, well, I cleaned my frets. Look at them frets. They've been on 2 years. And them strings been on there 2 years. And look, they shiny like they're brand new. Just look at them. Then you pull your pocket knife out and you cut all the butt cheese and dodo hair off the bottom. And, you know, you have to sweep your floor after they leave because they ain't never touched the bottom side of the strings. That's where all the dirt and that's where all the cavities and the fucking stalactites and magdites grow down. And that's what chews your frets and wipes them away. I've seen them do it in less than a year. Church guys are the worst. Yep. Especially them tent revival churches. Down here on the beach in the sand. Woo! They'll eat them up. But listen here. When you got a string like the Dario that's consistent, it resists dirt and buildup, and it resists what would you call it? Here's my 1, 2, 3, 4. A knurling. No, not even that. There's another word close to it in metallurgy. Annealing on the bottom of it. That's right. Ta-da! Where it cuts out those little grooves at the fret. Because intonation is this right here. This is what it all boils down to. The science of it. Intonation is not just that you're harmonically in pitch at your 12th fret. Intonations is this, that if you're harmonically in pitch at the 12th fret on a guitar that has scaled its fretting points correctly and the scale the length correctly to get that right. If you have all that down and you have a string that's consistently weighted from one end to the other through mass and through weight and through density and strength, then you will have a guitar, and that string's clean and without obstruction, you'll have a guitar that is perfectly intonated, and it will sound crisp and harmonic in every chord you play. Oh, lush chords. And then the notes ring out, and you find like it tunes so easily. Like you can just hear the warble, the warble just jump up. You don't even have to fret a note to tune the guitar to pitch. That's how wonderful it sounds. Well, that's a guitar that's perfectly intonated, perfectly stringed with a good set of strings that's not wore out. As soon as those strings get sturdy, as soon as those strings get too bad hollowed out and overweighted or out of balanced, the intonation goes and they sound dead. The exception of how you can do strings that's not wore out by playing, but just got dirty with gruddy with time and Snicker bars and shit like that. Just take your sissy's acetone, fingernail polish remover, or get you some acetone and a good shop towel. If you got it, use white Scotch pad if they're really dirty. Man, sass that thing down with that acetone and go up and down that string. If you got a natural finished guitar, not a natural, but a damn unfinished, satin finished, you don't want to get too much acetone on it because it'll discolor. It won't hurt it. It'll clean it in those spots, and you'll have little discolored spots. But don't freak out. If you don't care, you don't care. I splash that shit everywhere. So I'm throwing oil on it too. It's rosewood, and 9 out of 10 of mine are. But anyway, that's why that the Darios are hands down always the best string, for almost every single occasion. And it's because of the consistency. It's the consistency in the materials. It's their consistency in their winding technique. Okay, it gives you more consistent balance on your guitar. And time after time, if you want to challenge me on that, please do. Put your video up. Hell, if you're brave enough, I would love to sit right and have this video feed live and have the challenge, and put your snuff where your mouth is there, partner. Because I'm gonna tell you, you ask anybody that knows me, if I tell you a rooster dip snuff, you go look under his wing, buddy, you gonna find the can. That's no joke, partner. Let me know.